Speaking of R-rated, I think that's a good time to move on to our first review of the day.
Yes.
The new-ish South Park episode, or newish South Park special for Paramount Plus, The End of Obesity.
Yes. So the South Park guys are getting on the Ozepic train. Um, the special starts off where Cartman's at the doctor, and of course his doctor's telling him he needs to lose weight, but of
Right,
course
you're
Cartman's just
pre-diabetic, high cholesterol.
right, yeah, and so uh, then his doctor tells him, well, there is this drug called Ozepic, but and this is true in real life. Ozepic, they've found out it can be used as a weight loss drug, but um, uh, the Ozepic, what now? Ozepic it's used to treat diabetes, but they found out that it can be also used for weight loss. But the problem is insurance companies won't pay for it if it's being used for weight loss. They'll only do it if it's being used to treat diabetes.
Right, and I think that the reason is that I don't know if it's actually been fully studied for weight loss or if it's been studied enough that it's kind of like they figured out for a while that small amounts of aspirin would help prevent blood clots and heart attacks and whatnot. But it
Right.
took many years to actually make it so that they could say, we prescribe it for that because you have to do testing.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I think it's because there's a limited supply of the stuff, which they actually cover in this episode.
Yeah.
And, people who need it for diabetes are kind of first priority.
Yeah. Because diabetes is a life threatening illness.
Right. I mean, you could be like on South Park, you could be like that one guy who has freckles and a lisp and diabetes. I think his name
Yeah. Yeah.
is his name is escaping me, but
Oh
because
God.
he's a
Yeah.
very minor character. Yeah. So
Yeah.
okay, so our setup there. Cartman needs to get on the O.
Yes. And really, the only reason he wants to get on it is so that he can be skinny and insult people, and they can't insult him back.
Right. You'll have nothing else to make fun of.
Right. And so, but of course, since he can't get on the drug because did the South Korea guys make it about
No, no, it,
communism? No, no.
it's going somewhere different.
Yeah, yeah. So Cartman's really sad because he can't get Ozepic, and then Kyle offers to help him out and to to get try to get his insurance company to pay
Right.
for it, but it's just this never ending,
Right. Yeah, navigating the American healthcare system, and it turns into this MC Escher painting at one point.
yeah.
But meanwhile, the B plot, as it always seems to be Randy who gets the B plots.
Yeah, I think Trey Parker has something to do with that.
Right. So one morning, the, there's Randy, and his daughter is going off to school wearing a crop top, and he says, "No, Shelly, you can't wear that to school." Well, why not?
Yeah,
Well, uh, because Shelly, if you dress like that, you'll end up dealing with people who do drugs, and it always ends badly.
yeah.
Which might be some of the most ingenious foreshadowing they've ever done, really.
Oh yeah,
Because uh, Randy decides he's going to embarrass Shelly by picking her up from school wearing his own crop top. And earlier they set up that a bunch of the moms were on Ozempic and they now had, fully sculpted invisible abs because of it. And so they were walking around all the time with their bellies out.
yeah,
And so they say, "Oh, are you doing drugs?" "Hell yeah, I love drugs," says Randy. "Great, come over to our place and we'll do some drugs together." Well, it turns out they're, of course, illicitly getting supplies of Ozempic and its similar drugs.
right. Yeah, and of course he thought meant Mary Jane.
Right,
The
since he's now a weed farmer.
right. Yeah, yeah. So then he starts taking Ozepic, and they and his wife, God, I get it, Sharon. Uh, she starts noticing that he's lost his appetite, and and then
Right. Like, do you think you're better than me now?
yeah. Yeah, and so then when so back with the A plot with Cartman, they find out that Kyle finds out that they can actually make their own Ozepic by getting all the ingredients from India.
Right. Thank you, TikTok.
Yeah,
And so they kind of go Breaking Bad, um, and then it all kind of. I don't think we necessarily need to spell out the
right, right.
whole special, but those are the elements that are in play. But let's just say that the sugar cartel decides that they want to stop them from feeding the underground Ozempic market,
Yeah,
and it all comes together in the end.
yeah.
With Randy concluding, you know, he started dressing in a crop top, and what happened? He started hanging out with bad people who did drugs, just like he
Right.
told his daughter.
Yeah,
So I would say that from a humor perspective, this one had some good jokes, had some that didn't land quite so well.
yeah,
But unfortunately for me, the part that didn't end well was a big, elaborate chase scene at the end of the episode with a bunch of cereal mascots trying to stop them from getting a truckload of Ozempic materials into town.
yeah. It effectively parodied the ending chase scene in Road Warrior.
Which is funny that we had just watched it the week before.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but like the whole, I think it's a problem of, I think you just hit it on the head, is that it is very much referential humor
Mhm.
combined with you better find it really funny that these serial mascots are talking like they're like Colombian gangsters or whatever, are and are out to take them down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think I already said my favorite joke, which was the whole setup with the bad people doing drugs if you wear a crop top thing.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that Cartman's dream of getting skinny to make fun of people was in character for him, but it didn't quite hit as hard as it
Yeah.
could have. So I would kind of give this one like a B for South Park humor if I'm grading on the curve.
Yeah.
They weren't speaking in Spanish. It's been a couple weeks since we watched it because I had that hiatus I forgot about. So I can't remember if they were speaking in like a vaguely Latin American accent or if it was more like they were trying to be Italians.
I think they were trying to be Italian, if I remember
Okay, so I
right.
just
Yeah.
maybe I was thinking Colombian gangsters because of the white powder that they were trading in.
Yeah. Yeah, and they although I think they were kind of doing like accents with their their catchphrases and everything.
Right, right. Uh, the other thing I'll say is that um, can we just say that South Park is like the most preachy show, but it gets away with it because it's usually preaching common sense and relatable things.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
So that means that when they have a premise I don't quite relate to, it doesn't hit as hard. Like I don't know where they're seeing these middle-aged women showing off their stomachs all the time because I can't think of the last time I saw somebody walking around anything with
Yeah.
heavy clothes up here in Washington State.
Well, they are in California, so
That's true. So that's going to influence some of what they have.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the biggest joke that just like, oh god, that sounds horrifying, was what apparently Cartman's regular food is, which was the KFC cereal bomb,
Oh,
where he takes a whole bucket of KFC, pours in like two boxes of cereals, pours a whole bunch of milk on top of it, then mixes it all together.
yeah. Ugh.
Like, oh god,
Oh,
like it feels like something he would do, but oh.
ugh. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. No.
They also got a good shot in at Lizzo for fat acceptance because she's basically the fat acceptance person.
Yeah.
Because Sharon gets prescribed Lizzo as her alternative to Ozempic. It's
Yeah.
basically just not giving a crap if you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Why soak fried chicken? I can't help you, Ninja. I can't help you with that.
Yeah, especially like and he was eating with a spoon. So I don't think that works logistically because you'd be spit unless he's just swallowing the bones. Is the milk there to to soften up the chicken
Something
bones? I don't think that would work.
I don't know. That wouldn't work unless they were all unless it was all boneless. You know, huh?
Yeah, but KFC doesn't give you a boneless in a bucket like that usually. It's
No,
usually
they
like the
don't.
box.
Yeah, yeah,
We're overthinking this.
yeah.
Either way, pretty good episode. I would say it was a bit better than the last one they did about the prime drinks.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I watched it solo a few months back. Nothing has quite matched the mimetic potential of their Kathleen Kennedy parody.
Yes, which is playing out now.
Yes, and we're not talking about that.
No, we're not going to talk about that.